Respect doesn't disappear all at once. It fades, quietly, one small behavior at a time. You don't even notice it happening until people stop taking you seriously. They interrupt you more. They ignore your words. They treat you like you're optional. And the worst part, it's not because you're weak. It's because of habits you repeat every day without realizing they're costing you everything. In this video, I'm breaking down 8 behaviors that instantly make people lose respect for you and how to eliminate them before they define you. Watch till the end, because one of these is something you're doing right now. And once you see it, you won't be able to ignore it. If you want to build real presence, real confidence, and real respect, subscribe to Obsidian Mind, because here, we don't chase validation, we master ourselves. 1. Over-explaining yourself, expanded. Scene: a man nervously talking too much while others exchange subtle glances. You ever notice how some people lose the room? Without realizing it, they keep talking, adding details, stacking explanations on top of explanations, hoping clarity will earn them respect. But it doesn't. It does the opposite. Because over-explaining isn't about being clear, it's about being accepted. And people can feel that. You start with something simple. Sorry I'm late. But instead of stopping there, you keep going. Traffic, phone calls, bad timing, a long story no one asked for. And in that moment, something shifts. Not loudly, not obviously, but subtly. You move from authority to justification, from control to seeking approval. Confident men don't rush to explain every detail. They understand something most people don't. Silence carries weight. When you speak less, your words matter more. When you stop defending every action, people assume you had a reason. That's how authority works. But when you over-explain, you signal doubt, you signal pressure, you signal that you need others to understand you in order to feel okay. And that need is what lowers your value. Think about it. A man misses a deadline. One response sounds like control. I'll have it done by tomorrow. Simple, direct, done. The other sounds like he's trying to escape judgment. Yeah, sorry, my internet was slow, and then my cousin called and I had to step out, and honestly, I've been dealing with a lot lately. Now it feels messy, uncertain, weak. Not because he failed, but because he couldn't own it cleanly. Here's the shift. Stop explaining. Start stating. Say what matters. Cut what doesn't. Because the more you try to control how people see you, the less control you actually have. And in a world where perception is everything, less talk earns more respect. 2. Laughing at yourself too much. Expanded. Scene, group setting, laughter fills the room, but one man is always the punchline. Humor is powerful. It breaks tension, builds connection, makes people feel comfortable around you. But there's a line most men don't see. The difference between using humor and using yourself as the joke. At first, it feels harmless. You say things like, I'm trash at this. I'm broke anyway. I always mess things up. People laugh. You feel included, accepted. But over time, something shifts. Because every joke you make about yourself is a message. And when that message is always negative, people start to believe it. Not consciously, but subconsciously. You're programming how others see you. You're lowering your own status in front of them. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People rarely question the identity you present. They accept it. So if you constantly present yourself as the guy who fails, the guy who's not good enough, the guy who doesn't have his life together, that becomes your role, not just in their eyes, but in your own mind too. And once that identity sets in, it's hard to break. This doesn't mean you can't joke. It means you choose how you joke. Confident men don't need to tear themselves down to be liked. They don't trade respect for temporary laughter. They can be funny, without being small, because they understand something deeper. Respect and attention are not the same thing. Anyone can get attention by making themselves look weak. But respect comes from how you carry yourself, even in humor. So next time you're about to make yourself the punchline, pause, ask yourself, am I building my image or breaking it? Because the world is always watching, and people will take you exactly as seriously as you take yourself. 3. Being too available, expanded. You reply instantly, every message, every time. You say yes, even when it's inconvenient. You adjust your schedule. You cancel your own plans just to accommodate someone else. On the surface, it looks like loyalty, like you're dependable, easy to reach, easy to work with. But underneath, it creates a quiet imbalance. Because respect isn't built on how available you are. It's built on how much your time is valued, by others and by you. When you're always there, without hesitation, without limits, you remove any sense of scarcity, and what's always available rarely feels important. People stop appreciating your time. They stop considering your priorities. They assume you'll adjust, not because they're bad people, but because you've trained them to expect it. That's how patterns form. A friend calls you last minute. You drop everything and go. The first time it feels like you're being a good friend. The second time it feels normal. The third time it becomes your role. Now it's not a favor, it's an expectation. And expectations don't create respect, they create entitlement. Here's the shift most men need to understand. Being available is not the same as being valuable. Valuable men protect their time. They don't say yes to everything. They don't rearrange their lives on impulse. They choose when to show up. And because of that, when they do show up, it matters. This doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means having boundaries. Because boundaries don't push people away. They show people where you stand. If you don't respect your own time, no one else will. And the moment your time loses value, so do you. 4. Avoiding eye contact, expanded. Eye contact seems small, almost insignificant. No words, no effort, no skill required. And yet, it's one of the strongest signals you send without ever speaking. Because before people hear you, they read you. The way you stand, the way you move, and especially the way you look at them. When you hold eye contact, even calmly, you communicate presence. You say, without words, I'm here, I'm aware, I'm not intimidated. But when you avoid it, when your eyes drift, when you look down, when you constantly shift your gaze, you send a completely different message. Discomfort, uncertainty, lack of control. And the dangerous part, you don't have to say anything for people to feel it, because human beings are wired to read non-verbal cues faster than logic. It's instinct. Long before modern society, eye contact was a signal of dominance and awareness. Who holds the gaze? Who breaks it first? Those patterns still exist, just more subtle now. In everyday conversations, meetings, even casual interactions, people are constantly, subconsciously asking one question. Does this person feel grounded or unsure? And your eyes answer that instantly. Strong eye contact doesn't mean staring aggressively. It doesn't mean trying to dominate the room. It means being comfortable in your own presence. Holding the moment, not rushing to escape it. Because when you avoid eye contact, it often comes from one place. You don't want to be fully seen. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's overthinking. Maybe it's fear of judgment. But whatever the reason, it lowers how others perceive you. Not because they're judging you harshly, but because your behavior signals hesitation. And hesitation weakens authority. The shift is simple, but not easy. Slow down. Hold the gaze. Stay present a second longer than feels comfortable. Because confidence isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's just the ability to look someone in the eyes and not look away. 5. Trying too hard to be liked, expanded. This one hides in plain sight because it feels like the right thing to do. You agree to keep the peace. You smile to avoid tension. You nod even when something doesn't sit right with you. On the surface, it looks like maturity, like you're easygoing, adaptable, socially smooth, but underneath, it comes at a cost. Because there's a difference between being respectful and being agreeable at the expense of yourself. When you constantly try to be liked, you start editing who you are. You filter your thoughts. You soften your opinions. You become whatever the situation demands. And slowly, your identity disappears. People may like you, but they don't respect you. Why? Because there's nothing solid to stand on. You become predictable, safe, easy to influence, and humans don't respect what feels easy to control. Respect comes from tension, from individuality, from the willingness to stand alone when necessary, not from blending in. Think about it in real life. Someone says something you strongly disagree with. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it crosses a line, but instead of speaking up, you nod, you force a smile, you let it pass. In that moment, you think you avoided conflict, but what you actually did was lower your presence. Because people notice when you hold back. They feel the hesitation, they sense the lack of conviction. And without conviction, there's no weight behind you. Strong men don't argue for the sake of ego. They don't create conflict unnecessarily, but they also don't abandon their truth to stay comfortable. They can disagree calmly, speak directly, stand firm, without needing approval. That's the balance. Because the moment you stop chasing validation is the moment people start taking you seriously. Not because you change them, but because you finally stop changing yourself. 6. Not standing up for yourself, expanded. There are moments in life that seem small on the surface. Quick, subtle, easy to ignore. But those moments carry weight, because how you respond in them quietly defines who you are. Someone interrupts you mid-sentence. Someone makes a joke at your expense. Someone wastes your time without a second thought, and you let it slide. Not because you didn't notice, but because you didn't want to create tension. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. You convince yourself staying silent is the mature move, but deep down, you felt it. That slight discomfort, that internal hesitation. And here's the truth most people avoid. Silence is not always strength. Sometimes it's permission. Because every time you tolerate disrespect without response, you send a message. Not through words, but through behavior. You show people what you're willing to accept. And once that line is set, people rarely question it. They follow it. That's how patterns are built. It doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in small repetitions. You get talked over. Nothing happens. You get dismissed. Nothing changes. You get disrespected. No consequence. And slowly, your presence weakens. Not because you lack strength, but because you're not using it. Standing up for yourself doesn't mean aggression. It doesn't mean starting arguments or proving dominance. It means being clear, direct, grounded. Sometimes it's as simple as, "Let me finish," or "I'm not okay with that." Calm, controlled, firm. Because respect isn't about being feared, it's about being recognized, and people only recognize your boundaries when you enforce them. If you don't define your limits, the world will define them for you, and it will always set them lower than you deserve. 7. Seeking validation, constantly, expanded. Was that okay? Do you think they liked it? Should I message again? It sounds harmless. Normal even. But when those questions become a pattern, they start to shape how people see you. Because constant validation seeking doesn't just reveal curiosity, it reveals dependence. You're not just asking for feedback, you're asking for permission. Permission to feel confident, permission to feel accepted, permission to feel enough. And the moment your sense of worth depends on someone else's response, you lose control over it. That's what people pick up on, not consciously, not in words, but in energy, in behavior, in subtle cues. You check your phone too often, you overanalyze simple interactions. You hesitate before acting unless you're reassured, and slowly, your presence weakens. Because confidence isn't about always being right. It's about trusting yourself even when you might be wrong. But when you constantly look outward for approval, you send a clear signal. I don't trust my own judgment. And if you don't trust your judgment, why should anyone else? This is what psychologists refer to as low internal authority. You're outsourcing your decisions, your identity, your value. You're letting other people decide how you should feel about yourself. And that creates instability, because people are inconsistent, their opinions change, their attention shifts. So when your confidence is built on their reactions, it becomes fragile. One delayed reply can affect your mood. One neutral response can make you question everything. That's not strength. That's dependency. Confident men operate differently. They listen, they observe, they consider feedback when it matters, but they don't rely on it to function. They make decisions, they stand by them, and if they're wrong, they adjust, without collapsing. That's real control. It doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean ignoring others. It means you are the final authority in your own life. You don't need constant reassurance to move forward. You don't need approval to feel grounded. Because you've built something most people haven't. Self-trust. And when that's present, everything changes. Your words carry more weight. Your actions feel more certain. Your presence becomes stronger. Not because you're perfect, but because you're no longer waiting for someone else to tell you that you are. 8. Breaking your own word. Expanded. This one is silent, but destructive. No arguments, no confrontation, no obvious conflict. Just a slow, steady loss of trust. You say you'll do something, and then you don't. Not once, but repeatedly. You cancel plans at the last minute. You delay things you committed to. You make promises in the moment and forget them when it matters. At first, people give you the benefit of the doubt. They assume something came up. They believe your reasons. They stay patient, but patterns don't lie. And over time, something changes. Not in what they say, but in what they expect. They stop relying on you. They stop taking your words seriously. They start planning around your inconsistency. Because your word no longer means anything. And once that happens, respect doesn't just drop, it disappears. Because respect is not built on talent. It's not built on intelligence, looks, or personality. It's built on one thing: consistency. The ability to say something and follow through every time. Even when it's inconvenient, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is watching. That's what creates trust. And trust is the foundation of all respect. Think about it in real life. You tell someone, "I'll start going to the gym." Days pass, nothing changes. You say, "I'll finish this project." Deadlines move, excuses appear. You say, "I'll show up." But when the time comes, you don't. Now it's no longer about the gym, the project, or the plan. It's about your identity. Because every broken promise sends a message: I don't follow through. Not just to others, but to yourself. And that's where the real damage happens. You begin to lose trust in your own word. You hesitate when you make commitments. You doubt your ability to stay consistent. You start seeing yourself as someone who tries, but doesn't finish. That internal image becomes your reality, and people can feel it. They sense the lack of certainty, the lack of reliability. Because consistency isn't loud, it doesn't demand attention, but it builds something far more powerful: credibility, the kind that makes people listen when you speak, the kind that makes your presence carry weight. So the shift is simple, but demanding. Stop overpromising, start proving, say less, do more. And when you give your word, treat it like a contract, not with others, but with yourself. Because the moment your word becomes reliable, everything changes. People trust you, people respect you, people take you seriously. Not because you asked them to, but because you became someone whose word actually means something. Respect is never lost all at once. It doesn't disappear in a single moment. It fades. Quietly, gradually, almost invisibly, in the small things you ignore, in the habits you repeat, in the behaviors you justify, over-explaining, seeking approval, avoiding discomfort, breaking your own word. None of them feel dangerous on their own, but together, they shape how the world sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. Because at the core of all of this is one truth most men avoid: the way people treat you is a reflection of what you tolerate and what you project. Not your potential, not your intentions, your actions. Every time you stay silent when you should speak, every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you choose comfort over self-respect, you move further away from the man you could be. But here's the part that matters. You can change it, not overnight, not with motivation alone, but with awareness and discipline. You start speaking less, but meaning more. You stop chasing approval and start trusting yourself. You hold your ground, even when it's uncomfortable. And slowly, things shift. People listen differently. They respond differently. They respect you without you asking for it. Because respect isn't something you demand. It's something you build through consistency, through boundaries, through quiet confidence. So watch your behavior. Not the big moments, but the small, daily ones. Because that's where your identity is formed. And in the end, you don't get the respect you want. You get the respect your actions prove you deserve.